For today's coaster countdown, we are talking about Hersheypark in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and their top 10 roller coasters. Now, this is one of those parks that has an absolutely fantastic collection of amusement rides. So, that makes things very difficult when determining their 10 best attractions and ranking them. I very much had a hard time deciding which ones were my favorites even after visiting the park again in 2016. So that is why I'm updating this countdown from the previous one, because earlier the last time I had been was 2012, so this one is going to be a lot more recent. So you'll be able to see a bit how my opinions have changed, but for the most part, I mean, it's still pretty darn hard to figure out what are the 10 best roller coasters here. So just keep that in mind, but let's get into this. So, starting off with number 10, we are talking about SOOPERDOOPERLOOPER. This was the first looping coaster on the East Coast. It is a Schwarzkopf. Single inversion is a terrain coaster. And last time I did this countdown, I had never even ridden this roller coaster. So now that I've had a chance to get on it, I kind of got a feel for it. And I mean, it's a good solid family attraction. But I mean, with something just so old and it doesn't really have any major elements besides that vertical loop, that's why it's taking our number 10 spot. And up next at number 9 is the newest roller coaster at the park, Laff Trakk. Now, this was a coaster that I had pretty high hopes for, but I was kind of left disappointed. This is a more spinning coaster, and I think the reason why I was kind of left disappointed was because I had ridden another more spinning coaster that was really quite wild and it was a pretty insane ride. But when I rode Laff Trakk, I was just surprised how little it actually spun. Our ride vehicle was even off balance to help the spinning, but it still didn't spin that much, so I was kind of left disappointed with that. I mean, the effects were cool, and the queue was very fun, but overall, this was a bit of a disappointment for me. So moving on to number 8, this is WILDCAT, the wooden roller coaster, one of the 2 GCIs at the park. And this was actually the first ever GCI, and it's really kind of showing its age. It is not the most fun attraction. This is really one of those roller coasters that I think everyone just kind of wants to see RMC'd at this point. Now, when I rewrote it in 2016, it wasn't as bad as I remembered, but still, it wasn't great. I mean, it's definitely one of the weakest GCIs by far. It's definitely rougher than most. The Timberliners do help, but I think also in general, its layout is just not that great. For our number 7 attraction, this is SIDEWINDER, the Vekoma Boomerang. Now look, I'm not one who loves boomerangs, but this is definitely one of the better ones. It has the better trains, and I mean, these things do pull high G-forces. The general public definitely enjoy these attractions. And I realize if you've ridden a lot of roller coasters, then this isn't really going to be a coaster that you're really going to love. I mean, at the end of the day, it is just a boomerang. But it's not bad like some boomerangs I've ridden. Some boomerangs are just unbearable. This one is not one of those. Next up is our number 6 attraction, COMET. This one was fun. I got to ride it for the first time this past August. And I gotta say, I was pleasantly surprised. This thing is fun. I mean, it doesn't exactly have a fancy layout. It's basically just kind of your standard out and back with a few extra airtime hills. But it's also one of the oldest attractions at this park. But it's running fairly well for its age. Like, honestly, WILDCAT is running rougher than COMET is. So I think if you're going to Hersheypark, definitely try and get on this. This was a fun ride. Now we are at our top 5, and this is really when things start getting hard. Their top 5 is excellent. They have a fantastic collection of these top thrilling roller coasters. These are the 5 that you absolutely must ride when you come to Hersheypark, but which one you're gonna like the best is definitely gonna vary per person. Out of everyone that visits Hersheypark, everyone's probably gonna have a different variation of this top 5. I think everyone agrees what their 5 best roller coasters are, but the order is what makes things different. So let's get to our number 5, which is gonna be Great Bear, the B&M invert. What's fun about this is that it has a bit of a unique layout. See, most coasters have a helix at the end of the ride, but Great Bear has taken that helix and put it before the drop, and it really kind of works in with the terrain, and it's really kind of cool. I really actually like the helix before the drop. It's really kind of fun. Plus, it's just a solid attraction. I mean, whether you're in the front row or back, you got several awesome inversions, good layout, and as with most B&Ms, it has very nice pacing. And next up at number 4, I mean, this is an awesome roller coaster. I really do like it, and I really wish that I could put it higher, but I mean, the thing is, again, Hershey's top 5 is just so hard to rank. So it almost pains me that I have to put this lower than I'd like, but number 4 is Lightning Racer, the dueling GCI wooden roller coasters. These things race each other, pass over and under, they interact. It is fantastic. The 2 rides are very well done. The racing element really just makes things so much fun. Definitely one of the best creations ever done by GCI. Make sure to ride both sides. They both have identical layouts, but because of the way that they interact, they are not the same, but they do feature similar elements, so make sure to ride both of them. I suggest one in the front and one in the back. So now we're at our top 3, and spoiler alert, all 3 of them are Intamins, but they're all very different from each other. So this is how I rank them. At number 3, we have Storm Runner. This is a launch coaster, has a fantastic launch, great top hat, gives some good air. You have a completely vertical drop. It's a bit of a weird ride, but it is fun for sure. Very short experience, but it all just makes you want to get back in line and ride it again. And number 2 is Fahrenheit. This coaster is fun. This thing also scares the crap out of a lot of the GP because it has this vertical lift hill, 97-degree drop, multiple inversions, and it is so awesome. Such a great roller coaster, so much fun. It's not exactly intense, but it is just a roller coaster that you just want to ride over and over again because of how fun it is. And if you've been at Hersheypark recently, then you've noticed that Storm Runner and Fahrenheit each got better restraints, so they have been updated from what they used to be. So it made both of those coasters a lot more enjoyable. So all the more reason to ride Fahrenheit over and over again. So of course that leaves our number 1 attraction, and this really shouldn't come as a surprise to too many people. It is SKYRUSH. This is the park's hyper coaster, absolutely insane. It is fast. It is probably one of the most intense roller coasters in the world and has insane ejector airtime. Now that being said, I mean, it's not a perfect attraction. A lot of people really hate the restraints and the train configuration. I'm fortunately not one of those people. I've never really had a big issue with the restraints. I mean, yes, it does kind of lock hard on your thighs and stuff, but it really was not as bad as I think some people make it out to be. But again, I think it kind of depends on your body weight, your size, your height. So maybe just because I'm a skinny dude, average height, that kind of took some of the pain off of my legs. But I know some people who absolutely hate this attraction, so it really just does depend. And it really shows how much Hersheypark's top 10 can vary per person. So let me know in the comment section below, what are your favorite attractions at Hersheypark? How would you rank them? Do you agree with this list? Do you disagree? Post all those thoughts in the comment section below, and of course stay tuned for more videos coming very soon to Coaster Studios.